Welcome to Movies We Love Recapped. Today we will look at a science fiction horror film entitled Scanners. Spoilers ahead. Before we start, hit the like button. It's free and will help me to grow this channel. Here we go. The film opens with a scruffy derelict named Cameron Vale, stumbling through a shopping mall scavenging food. While eating leftovers, two rude women notice him and openly talk about how disgusted they are by his appearance. As Vale angrily glares at them, one of the women suddenly goes into convulsions and falls to the floor shaking. Two men in trench coats appear and give chase. As Vale runs, one of the men shoots him in the hand with a dart gun. Vale finally collapses to the floor. Vale wakes up strapped to a bed in a warehouse. Dr. Paul Ruth approaches Vale and tells him that he is a derelict because he is a scanner. Ruth ushers in a group of people whose voices grow in volume, but their lips do not move. Vale thrashes on the bed as he cannot block out their thoughts. Ruth administers an injection, and the voices fade away. Next we see a lecture at the Consec Corporation. The audience watches a demonstration of scanning. The demonstrator tells them that he is a scanner who can scan people's thoughts and ask for a volunteer. A man steps forward. The demonstrator asks him to think of something specific, which the demonstrator will scan to discover. The scanner begins to direct his focus, but something is wrong. The scanner is clearly in great pain. He starts shaking in unbearable agony. Suddenly, his head literally explodes. Panic erupts in the auditorium as people flee towards the exits. Security guards grab the volunteer. They know he is also a scanner. They take him away at gunpoint to a stairwell. Where a doctor is told to administer a shot of ephemeral, but the scanner manipulates him to inject his own hand instead. As the scanner is driven in a car with two security guards, a second security car suddenly swerves into a wall and explodes. The lead car stops to help. The scanner watches as the chief of security shoots the two guards and then himself. The sinister scanner then escapes into the night. The next day we see the Consec Board of Directors meeting. The new Director of Security, Braden Keller, wants the scanner program shut down. Dr. Ruth points out that the man responsible is a scanner named Daryl Revick. Ruth proposes infiltrating Revick's organization. Ruth says that he is a very special new scanner who will help them. Dr. Ruth decides to stage a test with Vale to see how powerful he really is. Vale is told to make a yoga master's heart beat faster and faster. The master soon loses control and writhes in agony. He begs Vale to stop. Ruth is astonished by Vale's power. His next step is to find artist Benjamin Pierce, a possible link to Revick's underground organization. Vale goes to a local art gallery where he makes the owner an offer for one of Pierce's bizarre sculptures. When told it is impossible for him to meet the artist, Vale scans him for Pierce's location, and is in turn scanned by a woman. When Vale turns around, she is gone. Vale arrives at the artist's workshop. Sitting inside a giant sculpted head, he refuses to answer questions. Suddenly, 4 assassins burst in and open fire, eventually wounding Pierce mortally. Vale's scan flings them across the studio. The dying Pierce's thoughts give Vale a name, Kim Obrist. Vale travels to a townhouse and finds Kim Obrist, who is the young woman from the gallery. But Revik and his men have staked out her house. Her group of scanners sit in a circle, their minds linked. 2 of Revik's assassins enter the house and proceed up the stairs. They enter the room and start blasting the scanners. Kim's scan throws them into a wall, and they burst into flames. The survivors make their getaway in an old bus. Soon, more of Revik's men drive alongside and start shooting. The bus plows into a record store. An assassin follows, only to be paralyzed by Vale's scan. The scan searches for something he owns that will lead them to Revik. The assassin gives him a medicine vial with a biocarbon amalgamate logo on the label. At the biocarbon amalgamate building, there is a sterile lab environment. One of the workers is Vale, who has snuck into the building and watches Revik direct operations. A computer image shows a delivery of ephemeral, but access to the program called RIPE is limited to Consec terminals only. Vale calls Ruth saying he's bringing in an informant from Revik's group. At the metro station, Revik instructs Keller to kill Dr. Ruth if he discovers anything. Meanwhile, Vale and Kim arrive at Consec and are injected with ephemeral. Vale protests, but Ruth confides their injections were harmless. Keller takes Kim for interrogation. In the interrogation room, Keller knows that Kim is not from Revik's group. He pulls out a gun to shoot her, but is overpowered by her scan. As Kim escapes from the room, Keller sounds the alarm. Vale runs to find her. Keller finds Dr. Ruth and executes him. Vale and Kim use their scanner powers to influence the guards. They are able to escape out of the building. Vale mentally downloads the RIPE program via a gas station payphone. Keller is informed that someone is accessing the program. And at gunpoint orders the technician to self-destruct the computer. Vale is hurt by the destruction of the computer, but his wave of destructive energy surges down the phone line, causing an explosion that kills Keller and the technicians at their computers. The overhead power lines break and fall, setting the nearby gas station on fire, and then it explodes. Vale and Kim head to the nearest doctor on the RIPE program list. In Dr. Frayn's waiting room, Kim is scanned by a pregnant woman's unborn child. She is then felled by a dart. Vale carries her outside where Revik waits. Vale is also drugged. Vale wakes up in Revik's office at Biocarbon Amalgamate, where he reveals to Vale that Paul Ruth was their biological father. He gave ephemeral to his pregnant wife, whom was one of his many patients in the scanner project, so he could observe the side effects on his own children. Revik wants them to lead the whole new generation of scanner soldiers just a few months away from being born. Vale refuses to join Revik's side and strikes him in the face. Revik launches a furious mental assault, causing each other's blood vessels to expand. Vale seems to be losing the mind battle, as Revik's ravaging scan causes his body to bleed, corrode, and burn. Vale seems to be consumed in fire. A little later, Kim wakes up in the waiting room and enters the office and finds Vale's charred corpse laying on the ground. Kim looks distraught, but senses something as she says, "Cameron?" In the corner of the room, a figure huddles under a coat, which is Revik. Speaking in Vale's voice, Revik says, "It's me, Kim. Cameron. I'm here. We've won. We've won." Here, the movie ends. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more movies like this, hit the like and subscribe button to be notified when I upload a new video. Leave a comment below. Tell me which movies you would like me to recap in the future.